What is going on YouTube? It's Sank. We are back with another one. Now in this drop, coming at you guys with a couple of plays and a bring to attention. Before I kick things off, if you'd like to help out the channel by hitting that like button, because it keeps the show rolling. Alright guys, as we draw the weekend to a close, we are moments away from hitting that opening bell in the stock market. And in this drop, I want to give you guys the playbook as we move into next week. But hey, before I get to that, I want to say next week marks a big week in these markets because it's the start of earnings season. Now what we want to see is these earnings to come in strong across the board because it's going to give the markets the confidence, the conviction to continue elevating these prices or at least keep things stable. And I'm expecting industrials to come in good. I'm expecting consumer discretionaries, energy sector to bring it home on earnings season. Now most of our plays, like a Grow Generation, like a Revolve, they'll be reporting later in the month, 4th week of July, 1st week of August, around those times. But it's still important what the rest of the market does because those plays will move in line with the market. So if the energy in the market is low off the back of earnings season, we'll see our plays come down a little bit. If energy is high, we'll see prices elevate. Now earnings season always brings us volatility in both ways. As I told you guys, we are in full hunting mode over the next couple of weeks to ensure we get the best of the best plays in our portfolio so we can finish off this year on a high. Now that being said, we are in for nothing less than an exciting couple of weeks in these markets. I'm looking forward to leading you through to success. Now in this drop, coming at you with a couple of plays that will double up, so I'm going to give you guys some coverage on them so that we can hit those big money returns. So let's run the first one. So we're going to kick things off with one of our channel's highest conviction plays. That's ticker symbol GRWG. That's Grow Generation. Now I know a ton of you guys are already killing the game in this one, but I want to give you some updated intel to ensure we continue your winning streak on this play. Now if we look at the charts, right now this one's sitting in the mid 40s. That's $45. So they're at a longer term support at this level. So they're moving exactly how we want them to at the moment. You guys know these plays fluctuate in their channels. At the low end, this one's $40, that channel. High end is $55. So I want you guys to keep your eyes peeled for entry on this play next week in the markets at $42 or $41. Then you can load up at these levels before we make the next climb 10-20% en route to doubling on this one. Now even though we've seen this one bounce off that 3-month low of $35 just the other month, there's still big potential in this play. They still remained an overlooked gem in the market. But what I'm starting to see is a lot more articles, a lot more research notes coming out about this one. The market is starting to warm up and realize the potential here, which will benefit us investors with good price momentum over the next couple of quarters. And to give you guys a heads up on this one regarding earnings, I'm expecting them to announce their earnings 1st week of August, latest 2nd week of August. And what I'm expecting is a continuation of the blowout results that we saw in Q1 on this play because they're now a bigger and better machine. They've made several acquisitions and they should come into effect in those earnings with higher revenue numbers, good profitability levels. So as I say, this is a gem in the market you guys do not want to miss out on. Now, the way to extract maximum value on this play is you guys want to stay on board in this one as management aggressively grows it. Right now they got around 55, 56 stores in the mid 50s and they're taking this up to 100 stores over the next 12 to 18 months. And as they do, that will make this a $90 play. So there's big potential here. Now I'm going to give you guys the short-term profit taking checkpoints if you so wish to do so. As you guys know, this play will move up, hit some resistance. I'll let you know when it does before it makes that slight pullback so you can net some short-term wins along the journey, as I say, to doubling up on this one. This will be another one of our double up plays like we've done with Highcar, like BCRX, just two recent ones that we've hit major success with. Now I'm going to put you guys on a quick bit of game before I sign out on this one. Whenever I'm jumping into a play, and I advise you guys to, I always check what the insider ownership is. That is how much of the float that management hold. Now for a billion or several $billion company, I like to see insider ownership of 5% or more. Now with Grow Generation, they've got insider ownership of 8%. So it shows you that there's some management on board ready for the upside in this one, and so are we. So let's move to the next one. Another play that will double up for us, that's ticker symbol BCRX. That's BioChrist Pharma. Now there's few biopharma plays out there in the market that have that differentiated product, that momentum, that competitive edge that I look for that BioChrist have. That's why this has been one of our channel plays since they're a $7 play back in January. We've already doubled up our money on this one, but there's more room to rise. I just want to make sure this one is also on your radar. Now on the week's performance, this one is showing as much resilience as a concrete wall out there in the market, despite all the headwinds these growth plays factor face. Ton of growth plays are down 5-10% on the week, but Briarcrest holding up steady, which is unusual because it's the typical type of play that normally rides with the tide. So what will happen to BCRX is what I call a delayed pullback. So even though right now they're showing that stability and resilience around that $16 level, they are on course for a drop down to the $13 mark. So to make sure you guys are aware of that, because that will be sweet spot entry on the play to get ready for the upside. As a matter of fact, let's check that stock price. We saw this one at $13 in March, very quickly dipped down to $10. That's a 20% drop in price. Check the score soon after. We saw it go from $10 up to $17. That marks a 70% increase. So you can use the volatility on this one to your full advantage. So that is why when this one drops, I'm gonna need you guys to show some conviction in weakness on this one. Load up when it drops down to that $13 level. And remember, you can set your limit buys at $13. Told you guys the advantage of a limit buy is not only does it get you into the play at great entry automatically, but also it strips out any anxiety of you jumping into a play that has dropped down in value 10, 15, 20%. It's a quality play, it'll rebound, no problem. Now looking back, this play has been firing on all cylinders in the US. US sales caught Wall Street analysts off guard, and what they've been doing is they've been paving the way for that international expansion. Now looking ahead, I'm expecting them to solidify their positions in Japan, Europe, UK, Israel, all the international markets that they've been moving into, and some developments in their pipeline product, all part of that longer term growth story in this one, getting it into that $20 realm. I'll let you guys know this is a play well known to the institutions, well known to the retail investors. So off the back of good catalyst, good business momentum, this one will have no problem moving to the upside. Let's move to the next one. All right, guys, so before we head into next week, I want to touch on NEO because there's been some interesting movements on this one. Now, over the last couple of weeks, NEO has hit some major milestones as it relates to that stock price. Not only have they broken through that previous resistance, they've moved above that 200-day moving average, which is all in the low 40s. So there's stock price momentum we've seen on this one, but most importantly, we've seen business momentum as well, as their deliveries have clocked in 20% increase month on month. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with this play, but check this. We've seen this one come down on the week 10% from $50 to $45. What you guys got to realize is that NEO stock price is super responsive to growth stock news, either EV market, the China regulations, things of that nature. So it just comes with the territory of the play. But I want you to know this play is not yet in the buy zone. We like this one $41 or below. $41, $40. That's the time to start accumulating, increasing your position in this play, getting ready for the upside in this one. Now, you guys got to realize NEO has not been able to fire on all cylinders because of all the headwinds in the industry, the supply shortages, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. So we can expect this one to get back up to full speed last quarter of the year, early quarters of next year. So there's a ton in store for investors on this one. And the Chinese growth evolution is in its early stages. They're looking by mid-decade to have 20% of the vehicles EV. So there's going to be some key winners from this, and NEO remains in pole position to take full advantage of this. Now, when it comes to NEO making entry, as a matter of fact, all volatile plays out there in the market, you guys want to be selective of your entry prices, okay? Because it could be the difference of you adding 20% increase in returns to your portfolios come year end. So if you've been rocking with the channel, you know what time is. Yesterday, when you suggested setting a 10% stop loss or 25% of your position for too far situation, did you mean selling 25% or selling 75% and keeping 25% in play? Thanks for the great channel. Alright guys, to wrap this one up, on the share some of you now in preparation for a ton of our plays that will make a move over the next couple of quarters, and to make sure you guys are fully aware of the profit taking / selling strategy on them. Okay, so what I taught you in one of the previous drops this week is what we call portfolio management. It's a maneuver that allows you to net great returns on one of your plays that made a move, and you could swap that into another play that is down temporarily that will also then make us move following that. And in doing so effectively, it makes your money work as hard as possible for you in these markets, speeds up the process for you netting great returns in the market, as I say. So when you see a play that is too far too fast, running up 20% in a week, 25% in a week, that is a signal that it's an opportunity for you to trim some profit from that play. As I say, transition it into another play. And I said set a 10% stop loss or a 10% trailing stop loss to allow for some normal level of volatility. You guys know these plays come down 3% in a day, 4, 5% in a day, sometimes 6, 7% in a day. So it gives you that little bit of flexibility in that stock price. But if it is going to come down, make a bit of a pullback, a sell-off off that high, what it can do as you could say, you can automatically net some profit, 25% of your holding, and transition that, and you'll leave in 75% to run in the play longer term. These are for your plays that you guys have some medium, longer term conviction in. So that's why you leave the 75% in case there is a rebound in that. It still keeps you active and you're in the game on the play. And if it doesn't, you've already netted 25% great return that you've transitioned into another play. As I say, ensuring that you make your money work as hard as possible for you in these markets. So make sure you guys are aware of that strategy, that maneuver that I want you guys to start implementing on your plays when you start to see them make a run up. Alright guys, that wraps up for this one. If you've got any questions for me, drop them down below and I'll get back to you. I want to say I appreciate you guys. And on your way out, do light up that comment section for me. And if you're new, join the movement, and I'll catch you on the next one.